Bismillah, alhamdulillah. So, to give just a little example of the Muslim community, okay, and what actually happened and how it became a community that constantly fails generation after generation, okay. Imagine a factory. Imagine me and you and another partner decided we wanted to set up a factory to produce gadget XYZ, okay? And we didn't really know how to build the factory to produce the gadgets. We asked around and somebody gave us a little plan and a little blueprint, and we said, okay, let's do this. And we set it up. All right, we built it. And it starts producing gadgets. All right. Then a couple of years later, the original factory and the people who handed us the blueprint tried to get in touch with us to tell us, there was a serious flaw in the way we built our factory, and we think that your factory may also have a flaw. But we didn't get the memo, okay? And so we just kept on producing broken gadgets. We thought everything was fine. And people would come in, take a look at the factory, and they hear the machinery thump, 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 and they see the gadgets coming out on the conveyor belt, and they're happy. This is a good factory, all right? But then after some time, you've got somebody who's gone out and done a real inspection on the gadgets. And they found out that these gadgets have various dysfunctions, okay? And the improper build is a part of the factory. That's how the factory operates, okay? And now you're trying to talk to the people running the factory. And you're telling them, look, you've got broken gadgets all over the world out there. And they don't want to believe you. Because what they've seen is the factory running. And they've seen the gadgets come off the conveyor belt and get packed up and shipped out, okay? This is kind of where the Muslim community is. All right, decades where most of the Muslims in the community thought, well, it's functioning. Yeah, we know we have some problems, but it's going. Well, that's not what we're seeing now. Okay, we're seeing that there was always massive failure. And the problems are always increasing, becoming more severe, really having very harmful impact on people, especially converts, but also youth. And now we're trying to take a look at redefining and rebuilding that factory. And that's what this is about right here. Okay? Understand that what I've been talking about is systemic and cultural, okay? I've explained that the failure of today's Muslims is in everything. That's what I mean. It's in the culture. It's in the mentality of Muslims. It's in the lifestyle. It's in the habits. It's in the habits of the Masaajid. It's in the way the Masaajid operate. It's in the way the Masaajid were set up. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely resistance to change, but it's absolutely necessary. Okay? So in every project that I developed, okay, I began with a factual analysis, an assessment of the real problems, made the effort to gather the information, what is really going on here, what has been going on. And especially when it comes to the converts, because I started on this particular project 7 years ago, okay, there had never been anybody in the community even paying attention to converts. All right? So don't be surprised now when I'm telling you that you destroyed the lives of uncounted converts. You did that over decades. And now I'm telling you that that was a massive crime against Islam. And it's going to be probably the most serious thing that you're going to confront Yom Al-Qiyamah, and your book is opened, okay? But anyway, that's the right way to approach any problem, is to actually understand the problem. And it takes gathering of information, laying all that out, letting the factual information tell you, looking at the patterns, okay, until you see the problem as a system, okay? You see it as a problematic system. It's not just, oh, there's a convert over there and they had such and such problem, and here's another convert over here and they had such and such a problem. No. When you look at dozens or hundreds of cases over, I mean, my own history is 33 years, then you identify the patterns and you see how the pattern is produced by the system, and that means the masjid. Okay? Converts have definitely, you don't find a masjid that really serves any useful purpose to you. But it's not just that. It's Muslim brother and Muslim sister trying to get anything of any value out of them is extremely difficult. And that's what I mean. When converts are in an emergency, we don't have 500 years to wait for Arabs and Daisis to start figuring out how to do things right. Okay? It has to be done now, because anyway, Allah is sending something very serious. You don't have time. So, years ago then I had, presented the proper meaning of convert support. Okay, and this is based in factual assessment. The real lives, the real history of real converts, okay? And then also myself going back, looking through the Quran, looking through the life of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the lives of the Sahaba, the history of early Islam, to present what I have never seen presented, okay? Which is the Islam of Medina. Its initial purpose was to solve the problems of converts. And here you've got Masaajid and communities that have been around 30, 40, 50 years and more that didn't even begin to figure out what they're supposed to be doing. It's not that nothing is set up, no, it's that they did not even begin to know what they screwed up when they were destroying the lives of the human beings who entered Islam. Okay? And because then this is, I'm mentioning this first, I'm going into 5 projects that I developed because this is the most important. Okay, this is where the anger of Allah is coming from is that your community and your people ignored the most important thing in Allah's deen, and you destroyed the lives of innocent human beings who embraced Allah. Okay? We are Allah's people. And we were ignored, forgotten, abused, neglected, and left in sadness, loneliness, without lives, and many of us had serious pieces of our lives destroyed. And that wouldn't have happened if your people had been doing Islam. You're not doing Islam. You don't even know how to do Islam. Your Masaajid do not do Islam. Go back through this series. This is what I've been talking about, okay? But this then also is a major part of the cultural change and the institutional change, okay? So when I talk about the Masaajid needing to be redefined and reformatted, okay, this is a huge part of what I'm talking about. When we talk about the Medina community solving the problems of converts was its foundation. That was the initial purpose the community was established. And it was the first thing that Rasulullah and the Sahaba did. Your community didn't even start, and you don't have anybody in the community that has the slightest idea what to do. Okay? So this is an institutional reformat and a cultural reformat. You've got to understand the priorities of actual deen. This is the highest priority in Allah's deen. This is what Rasulullah spent his life for. All of the Sahaba were converts. This is not a little side project. Oh, it'd be nice if we had some convert support, going on in, one of the back rooms. No. This is the core purpose of a community of Islam. Okay? You're off the rails. And this is why Allah has been sending increasing massive destruction, and why Allah has brought, okay, a serious punishment coming to the Muslims living in the United States and in Europe. Okay? Now, when I've talked about how these problems perpetuate generation after generation, how it is systemic and it stays, it doesn't improve. Okay? Muslims are extremely dysfunctional. Extremely. I mean, Islamically, intellectually, emotionally, collectively, organizationally, your Masaajid are dysfunctional, your lives are dysfunctional, okay? Well, we've had Masaajid for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. Why are Muslims still dysfunctional? It's because you never had the right program, okay? And a part of the wrong program, okay, is that you never had the right educational program, and that would be like the first purpose of a masjid. Okay, I've seen, because I've watched Muslims, Arabs, and Daisies for 33 years, and I've seen Muslims live their entire lives and never become functional. Okay, and the Masajid never change. Wow. I wonder if these two things are connected. Okay, so when I developed my own curriculum, I put in serious thought and serious study into what is the fundamental thing here. and understanding the fundamental purpose of education, okay? And understanding what are the priorities, what are the emergencies, and how can they be solved. And understanding that when you have generation after generation of the same failure, and it's built into the system and built into the Masaajid program, okay, so then what do you do to fix that? You need a generation of Muslims who function. And you can't spend 30 years trying to get there and then failing. So my program was developed to properly educate each and every Muslim in a short time, okay? A year to a year and a half, to take a Muslim in whatever state they're in, which usually means dysfunctional, okay, and ignorant about Islam and ignorant about other extremely important subjects, and to incorporate this into a curriculum and a program that with just 2 hours of class a week, I can radically transform every Muslim and get them as a functional member of the community who can then be productive instead of being constantly either non-productive or counterproductive, okay? It is revolutionary, and that is what you have to have, okay? We don't have 5 years, 20 years, whatever, to just continue whatever we're doing, which is mostly a bunch of guesswork. None of my projects were based on guesswork. In the Muslim community, that's pretty much all you have. Everything that I developed has had extensive research, facts, fact gathering, history, assessment, analysis, going into it from the beginning, okay? And so this is one of the things that's necessary to get the cultural shift that is needed, to get at least, if you have at least 5–10% of the Muslims in a community can become functional, intelligent, operative Muslims within a year to a year and a half, that has never been done in the Islam of North America. It is revolutionary by itself. And this is one of the 5 projects I developed, okay? It is absolutely necessary. Okay, so I'm going to cut off here because the next couple of subjects are in a different area, okay? And I have to get more extensively into that, okay? But for working class Muslims, see, you can't have a functioning community if you don't have functioning leadership, a functioning institution, and a functioning working class Muslim. Right now, none of them are functioning. Everything you have is broken. That's what I've been talking about. And so you have to come with the right programs and the right projects to interrupt this, to replace what is broken and what stays broken generation after generation with the right program. All right? I'll be coming back, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.